Welcome to On This Day, where we look back at the moments that made history, one day at a time. From major world events to the weird and unexpected, every date has a story. So, what happened on 27th of June? Let's find out. June 27th has hosted everything from pivotal political shifts and landmark laws to creative debuts and daring escapes. It's a date that's brought both moments of celebration and moments that change the course of nations. Whether you're into pop culture, world history, science, or something a little offbeat, there's plenty in store today. Let's start in 1950, when the United States sent its first troops into Korea just 2 days after North Korea invaded the South. This marked the beginning of direct U.S. involvement in the Korean War, a conflict that would last 3 years and cost millions of lives. It also set the tone for decades of Cold War tension between East and West. Jump back to 1844 and we find a tragic moment in American religious history. Joseph Smith, founder of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, was killed by a mob while jailed in Carthage, Illinois. His death sparked a wave of upheaval within the movement and led to the Mormon migration west under Brigham Young, a journey that would reshape the American frontier. In 1985, the iconic film Back to the Future premiered in the U.S. It wasn't just another teen movie, and it became a pop culture phenomenon. Hoverboards, DeLoreans, and the idea that 88 miles per hour could break the time barrier all became part of movie legend. Marty McFly and Doc Brown have been riding the space-time continuum ever since. Back in 1954, the first nuclear power plant to generate electricity for a power grid was activated in Obninsk, Russia. It wasn't huge, it only produced about 5 megawatts. But it was the first time nuclear energy was used to power homes and businesses, sparking a global debate about the potential and the perils of atomic power. On this day in 1977, France held its last execution by guillotine. It's wild to think that such a historical method of capital punishment was still in use in the late 20th century. The execution marked the end of an era and foreshadowed France's full abolition of the death penalty just a few years later. In 1967, the world saw its first live global satellite broadcast called Our World. Broadcast to over 400 million people across 5 continents, it featured performances and segments from around the world. Most famously, it included the Beatles performing All You Need Is Love, a song written specifically for the event. Let's jump to 1976, when Air France Flight 139 was hijacked by pro-Palestinian militants after leaving Tel Aviv. The plane was eventually flown to Entebbe, Uganda. What followed was a daring rescue mission by Israeli commandos, now known as Operation Entebbe, one of the most famous counterterrorism raids in history. In 2007, Apple released the very first iPhone in the United States. It was sleek, touchscreen, and unlike anything the world had seen before. It wasn't just a phone, it was a pocket-sized revolution. Since then, smartphones have become central to our lives, and probably the thing you're using to watch this right now. Love discovering what happened on this day in history? Hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Back in 1980, during the Iran-Iraq War, Iraq began a major assault against Iranian oil facilities. The conflict would stretch on for 8 brutal years, becoming one of the longest and deadliest wars of the 20th century. It's a reminder of how quickly regional tensions can escalate and how deeply they can scar. In 1991, Yugoslav troops began withdrawing from Slovenia after a brief but fierce conflict sparked by Slovenia's declaration of independence. It was one of the first cracks in the Yugoslav Federation and the beginning of a series of conflicts that would redefine the map of Eastern Europe in the 1990s. In 1971, rock legend Jim Morrison was found dead in a bathtub in Paris. The Doors frontman had helped define the sound of the late 60s, and his death at just 27 added him to the infamous 27 Club. While the cause remains somewhat mysterious, his impact on music has never faded. In 1955, the first edition of the Guinness Book of Records was commissioned. It started as a way to settle bar arguments, literally, but quickly grew into a cultural staple. From the tallest man to the fastest roller coaster, the book has documented human extremes for decades. In 2003, the World Health Organization officially declared the SARS outbreak contained. The virus had spread across continents, infected thousands, and caused a global scare. The successful containment showed what coordinated public health efforts could achieve, lessons that would become even more relevant in the years to come. And to finish on a creative note, in 1880, Helen Keller was born in Tuscumbia, Alabama. Left blind and deaf by illness as a toddler, she went on to become a groundbreaking author, speaker, and activist. With the help of her teacher, Anne Sullivan, Helen broke through isolation to become one of the most inspiring figures in history. That's what happened on 27th of June throughout history. Made it this far? Drop your favorite historical fact in the comments. Learned something new? Hit subscribe and come back tomorrow. You never know what the past has in store.